Jordan's the guy they want, even more so than usual, and that's why. Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard is one of the most polished players in the league, and some of these fadeaways are starting to look a lot like the legendary MJ fadeaway.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
So I'll go through exactly how Kawhi's game is beginning to look more and more like Michael's, and give y'all some tips anyone can apply to their game. First, I'll break down the post fadeaway mechanics, which are similar but also have some interesting differences. Kawhi seems to have learned the ways that Jordan reads his defender's position behind him. Right here, MJ reads his defender's center of gravity on his left shoulder, so his instinct is to spin the other way into the fadeaway. You'll see Kawhi do the exact same thing here. It seems easy, but it's really not. You're basing it almost purely off of feeling your defender behind you, so Kawhi having the ability to do this is huge. Even more impressive though is that Kawhi has the feel to get his defender on one side so he can create space for a turnaround. So for example, MJ takes a post dribble towards the middle because he knows that his defender will shift towards that shoulder. Once he does, he turns over the other. And then Kawhi here, a spitting image almost. One difference though is that MJ hangs in the air longer on many of his shots, even shooting on the way down sometimes. With the longer hang time, this allows him to rotate more fully to the bucket. So if he isn't rotated fully as he reaches the top of his jump, he hangs a little bit longer to fully rotate. This also lets the defender pass. He's contested right here, but he hangs a split second longer, and the defender is dropped a little bit. Obviously, this is insane stuff that only MJ could do, but it's notable. But this forces Kawhi to be better at rotating quicker, because he doesn't have the same hang time that MJ does to rotate. So you see here that Kawhi is rotated well before he even reaches the top of his jump. Kawhi also has to cover more ground away from his defender on the jump, since he doesn't have that same vertical ability as MJ to hang in the air. Just watch how much space he covers right here jumping away from his defender. Kawhi also has a higher set point on his shot, partly because his shots are more contested a lot of the time. It's so high he barely even snaps his elbow sometimes, compared to MJ, who almost keeps a 90-degree elbow angle on most turnarounds.
Back up in the fadeaway.
Kawhi also gets the ball to his set point before he even leaves the ground, so there's less in-air movement. This way, he doesn't have to do much in the air other than rotate and shoot.
Here he comes.
MJ also sold his moves a little bit more drastically, so you'll see his defenders way out of place a lot more than Kawhi's, who are generally contesting it more heavily. But Kawhi does create contact before the shot more than MJ, which helps make up for this by putting his defenders on their heels. You'll also notice that Kawhi's shot is much more flat than MJ's, partly because you can only have so much strength with that high of a set point, so the ball must travel horizontally rather than vertically. Plus, when you're literally jumping backwards, it's hard to get a ton of arc on a shot. Kawhi's also pulling a ton from MJ's pull-up game. Once they get their defender in a position where they'll be delayed off the ground, it's over. Right here, MJ realizes that his defender has his hips turned, so he knows that he won't be able to jump as quickly to contest the shot. Then Kawhi does the exact same here. Both elevate too quickly and are too athletic for their defender to make up for the lost ground vertically. Both also use leg kicks to rotate their bodies towards the basket. This is an easy way to naturally get your body rotated. One interesting technique Kawhi uses is letting the ball hang in his right-handed pull-ups, so he can find the most comfortable foot position. This isn't a travel because he hasn't picked up the ball with two hands yet, and lets him cover ground comfortably before picking up for the shot. Another thing you'll see is that both pull up with their second foot behind their first foot on many shots. This helps them fade backwards on pull-ups, but under control. And you rarely ever saw MJ use hops on his shots, but Kawhi actually uses them pretty frequently, and they can be pretty useful for getting on balance quickly. Since both are pretty high volume shooters, defenders will constantly be reaching, but both are great at protecting the ball and bringing the ball up in positions that the defender can't reach.
4 on the shot.
And finally, when you're so effective in the mid-range, pump fakes will always work. And both have huge hands, which makes it even that much easier to catch their defender. So regardless of whether Kawhi actually studied MJ or not, or if he just naturally developed these tendencies, it's definitely interesting to compare the two. And I'm sure Kawhi will only continue to elevate himself towards that all-time great level with MJ. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and tune in every Wednesday and Sunday for new videos. Let's get this movement going.